He would have been lamped. Anderson's in again, bowls, and this one is defended off the back foot by Abid, who's solidly behind it, 42 not out.
It surprised me going back to Mark Ward. I had him on my podcast at the start of lockdown, or halfway through lockdown, I think it was. And he's actually quite quiet. He's actually quite shy. He doesn't know yet. He's not a massive extrovert. I think when he's in a group that he's familiar with, then he becomes one.
Anderson bowls. This one's on the pad. Shout for LBW. Umpire Goff nods his head and gives him out. Abid finally gone for 42. Jimmy's got his 599th test victim. He's got a smile on his face. But Abid is reviewing. He's reviewed it.
Don't rely on your fielders. Go LBWs, and I'll tell you what. He's gonna get grumpy here if this is turned down on the review, isn't he? He thinks he's got his 599th.
So Richard Kettleborough is the third umpire who's checking this over. Has he hit it? The answer is no. It thuds into the knee roll, and he's not a tallest, is he, Abid Ali? The only question is it going to miss leg stump? And the answer is umpire's call. It just gets enough of leg stump. That would be another one of those that under your DRS system, James, going forward, probably wouldn't be given, but it is today, 88 for 2.
Don't tell Jimmy Anderson that just yet, because he'll come around and find me. That was a good ball. I mean, this is why people writing Jimmy Anderson off. He might be 38, he might be getting towards the twilight of his career, but while he's still around, while he's still bowling like this, you keep him in the team, because he is a terrific bowler. And the amount of chances that he's created in this Test match, he's taken 5 wickets in the first innings. He's now got his first wicket as the second innings. He's also had a shed load of near misses and drop catches off him. If it had all gone his way, he could have probably been on about 12 wickets now for this Test match. But he's on 599, Simon.
Yes,
that is just massive. It's huge. It's a huge stat.
Yeah. Spare a thought for Abid Ali though, because like I say, it was umpire's call, and as you say, it makes no sense that really had the umpire not given that out, he would have been not out. But there was actually, I think it was hitting more of the leg stump of Abid Ali than Broads was hitting the off stump of Shan Masood from earlier. So probably both openers feel a little bit harshly treated today by the umpires.
Will his 600th wicket be Azhar Ali, or will it be Babar?
Well, he's had Babar out a couple of times in the series, hasn't he?
Yeah. Babar's not a good starter. Not a good starter. Jimmy will fancy his chances here.
Yeah.
I was just about to say to you, I'm going to go and get a coffee, Simon, but I don't want to leave the TV now because I want to see Jimmy Anderson get his 600.
Yeah, Jimmy Anderson's got Babar Azam out 4 times in Test cricket so far. And
is this next ball going to be the ball?
Here he comes over the wicket to the rounded batsman who defends on off stump. That's picked up by Sibley running in from close in, but that's the end of the over, and it's an over which Jimmy Anderson now moves within 1 of that magical 600 Test wickets. 88 for 2 Pakistan.
There's certain times during this summer where you think this moment needs a crowd in the ground. Crawley getting to 267. I mean, there's so many great moments of this summer where you know that you get to this time of night, there would be a few pints of being drunk, people would be a little bit boisterous. That ground would be absolutely rocking for Jimmy Anderson's 599th wicket. And every single time he runs in from here to the close of play, it'll be and it'll be all that kind of stuff, and cheers and jeers and everything else going on. The atmosphere in that ground would be electric now for this moment, and there's nobody in there at all.
No, what a shame. So, just to correct myself there, Anderson's got Babar Azam out twice in Test cricket, both in this series, caught by Joe Root at Old Trafford in the first innings, and LBW to obviously LBW for 11 in the second innings of the first Pakistan innings of the Ageas Bowl curtailed test match. Now it's going to be Jofra Archer from the other end, so Archer and Anderson in conversation before Archer prepares to bowl to Azhar Ali. 88 for 2. Still 222 runs behind England, but it's all about batting out time here for Pakistan, and with the rain to come overnight, they may realistically be just slightly more than an hour and a half possibly away from batting England out of this test match and getting the draw. Jofra Archer still waiting to deliver his first ball of this over. The fielder getting into place. Now Archer's coming round the wicket. England have got this funky fielding again. Fly slip. Man at fine leg. Man at square leg, sort of 3/4 of the way in. Short leg as well. And here he is, coming to bounce Azhar Ali. Bangs one in. This one's flicked nicely off the legs down towards fine leg. And they will just get 1 run for that, as the man down there is Don Best, without a cap actually. 89 for 2. That gets Babar on to strike. Archer pretty inexpensive so far, considering this is his 9th over. That was only the 8th run that's been scored off him, but quite a lot of his deliveries have been just hung up outside off stump without really threatening the stumps. So yeah, he's been playing cat and mouse with the ball really, and perhaps England need something a bit more direct now as Archer comes in round the wicket and balls to Babar, and that is direct. That is a throat high bouncer, which the batsman just sways out of the way of, and it goes through to Butler. Stuart Broad's been off the field for a moment. He's about to come back on. Got a fresh shirt and jumper on, I think. Anderson on course for certainly to be in consideration for man of the match award. I think probably that has always been destined though for Zach Crawley, as Archer bowls banged in again. Babar sways out of the way as it goes through chest high to Butler. Joe Root and Jimmy Addison again having a little chat, a bit of conflab from their fielding position. Anderson's come all the way up to talk to him. There really is a lot of thought going into this process of trying to get wickets today. Pakistan have been very solid, very resistant so far. There's a new partner for Azhar Ali. It's Babar Azam, not out. Here comes Archer round the wicket again, and he bowls a bouncer. This one's pulled straight down into the ground and then fielded by Archer, who slings at the stumps. Babar never left his ground, and it's straight to Butler. 89 for 2. All of a sudden, it's gone up a notch this game.
Yeah, Stuart Broad coming back out onto the pitch there. I would imagine he would not want to be not on the pitch when Jimmy gets to 600.
Yeah, good point. They are such good friends, aren't they, and colleagues. Both came into the team. Sorry, just come back to this.
They're quite different people, aren't they? And they seem to gel really well together.
Archer bowls. This is another short pitch delivery, which is left alone by Babar, who just drops his hands on it. Yes, they both came into the team roughly, well, in the same test match, wasn't it? It was in New Zealand when Hoggard was dropped. Hoggard and Harmison were dropped after England lost the first test of the series in New Zealand, I think 2008. I mean, Jimmy had been in the England team and been out of the England team, obviously famously missed the 2005 Ashes, having sort of debuted in 2003. But really from 2008 onwards, they've been pretty much bowling as a tandem, unbroken, since they both came into that second test in New Zealand. As this next delivery is banged in from Archer and left alone by Azhar as it goes through to the keeper at Butler. End of the over, 89 for 2.
Quiz question for you and the listeners. When Jimmy Anderson made his debut at Lord's in 2003, who was the other England debutant on the same day?
2003.
Don't ruin this 600th wicket moment with bad light and fire. Come on, put that light meter away.
Jimmy's just moving his mark. He's going to bowl another over. He's going to be able to start another over, I think, at least. Whether he'll be able to finish it depends on that light meter. But who else was making a debut in 2003 for England?
Enjoyed a very good 12 months with England and then never played again for England.
Ooh.
It's from one of the northern counties. You may even have worked with him in the same service that I used to work with you at.
Right. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm with you now. In comes Anderson, who bowls, and this one is defended by Azza into the leg side. Yes, it's Anthony, yeah.
Max came into that England side. He had a very good. I think his final stats for England, he averaged over 40, and he'd taken wickets fairly cheaply, and then never played again. And I asked him if it worked for Yorkshire, and saw a lot of him post his England time. I think he was a better player after they picked him.
Anderson bowls. This one's running towards point, and it's picked up by Broad, who's back on the field. Azza 22 not out. Yeah, he's Essex coach now, isn't he, Anthony McGrath?
Doing rather well, isn't he? Last season, before all the COVID stuff hit, they won the County Championship and the T20 Blast within a week of each other, and I imagine he had quite a few to drink after that.
He's again. Anderson bowls to Azza. Azza playing in front of his pads, plays it out towards Burns, who's one of those three men on the drive. What do you make of this little funky field that England have got here with men on the drive and the offside and the leg side? Actually, two on the leg side, because there's one just in that position, almost adjacent to the strip.
It smacks of a captain who knows there isn't a huge amount in the wicket, that's just trying to put doubts in the batsman's mind. Just trying something a little bit different, seeing if they can make something quirky work.
Anderson comes in again to Azza, bowls. This one's full on the leg stump. It's a nice half volley to tuck away down towards fine leg. It's actually deep square leg who fields it. That's Crawley, because England have got a fine leg as well. And it's 90 for 2 now. Azza on 23. Babar is on strike for the next delivery. 2 left in the over here from Anderson.
If you Google Jimmy Anderson, Anthony McGrath debut, I'm sure you'll find the photograph I'm thinking about, where you get a very young, fresh-faced Jimmy Anderson stood next to a very young, fresh-faced Anthony McGrath, looking a lot younger, because they were a lot younger.
Anderson comes in again and bowls, and this one is defended by Babar just outside off stump, picked up by the backward point fielder. Who's aged the best of the two of them?
I think.
Is that a harsh question?
If Mags is listening, I do apologise, Mags, but I reckon the fact that Jimmy's still playing probably tells you all you need to know. He's a good man, Anthony McGrath. Doing very well as a coach as well down at Essex, and there's no surprise there, because he's a very good sort of team man. I imagine that dressing room's got a good vibe to it.
Anderson bowls. This one's defended by Babar, and that is the end of his next over. 90 for 2. 52 overs bowled today. We have got probably about 20 left, is it now? No, less than that. 18 overs left. Minimum.
Playing with his light meter far too much for my liking at the moment.
Yeah, if they go off after 7 PM, as we learned yesterday, if they go off the bad light after 7 PM, that is it. It stumps. So that is the cut-off point.
They're starting to ready the covers as well. They've got their microphones, the little fluffy white microphones in front of their mouths, the umpires. The umpire Goff's coming across towards the batsman and Jofra Archer. I reckon this might be the last we're seeing of cricket today, and if that is the case...
Is it the last we're seeing of Jofra Archer? I think that's it. Jofra Archer's shoulders have just slumped. The umpires have just told him, sorry mate, you can't bowl, but you can bowl spin. So Don Best suddenly runs in. Don Best was like waiting for this chance, like going, this is going to happen to me now. Yeah. So he runs in, takes the jumper off and goes, yep, I'll bowl.
A little bit unsatisfactory, isn't it? And the thing is as well is that probably means that it's the last we've seen of Jimmy Anderson bowling from the other end as well, because Joe Root will probably come into the attack. There'll be 2-pronged spin attack, and Jimmy Anderson's magical moment's going to be delayed, isn't it? Real shame.
Yeah, but again, it is what it is, isn't it? You know, these are the conditions are that if there's any danger to the batsmen, even the umpires, fielders, of course, it's all taken into consideration, and the light just ain't good enough, I'm afraid, even with the floodlights on. So disappointing, but that is it is what it is.
And the thing is with the floodlights on, and they can't play. people say, well, why don't they turn the floodlights on full? Do you only ever see the floodlights with a few of the bulbs going? And that is just to give a little bit of a boost to it, but you can't play by the floodlights alone. They won't turn them up any higher because these aren't floodlit cricket, these aren't floodlit test matches.
So Anderson will be on 5.99 overnight by the look of things. Here is Bess going to bowl the 53rd over. England will rip through these 18 overs if it's spin from both ends. Here he comes. Right over the wicket to Azhar Ali, who goes on the drive and works one out beyond the first line of defences, and it's out there, and he might even go for 4 runs. He just eased into that one. It's good timing, but Archer does haul it in and throws it back. Just 2 runs conceded there.
You were right with Don Bess as well. He was across to the umpire as quick as a flash there, wasn't he? He wanted that ball in his hand, and that's a good sign as well from a youngster making his way in this test side. He wants to bowl. That's a good thing. Yeah. You know, you want to see Don Bess enthusiastic and wanting to bowl. He might not want to bowl after seeing the replay of that shot, that was comfortably pushed through the covers, but it's good to see him wanting the ball.
Yeah, he's in again here, Bess, to Azhar, who's forward and flicking it down the ground. He manages to get a hand on it, the bowler, as he moves in front of the non-striking batsman, and there is no run. Of course, Babar is still on naught. He is still a new batsman with no score to his name, so probably Don Bess is thinking, I want to bowl to him, I want to bowl to the new guy. But he's got Azhar in front of him at the moment. He bowls, and this one's tossed up, and Azhar plays into the onside, fielded by Burns, who just lobs it back to Bess. No run there.
When I looked at that weather forecast a little bit ago, it was around about this time that it said that the showers might come, and the ground staff were definitely opening up the avenue for the covers to come on, weren't they?
Bess bowls. This one defended by Azhar from his crease, and again it's no run.
Unfortunately, it is destined for a draw, this test match, isn't it? The way this pitch is playing, in the way there's just nothing happening for the bowlers.
It's Bess in again, past the umpire. Bowls, Azhar is forward, working it towards point, but it's fielded actually by the slip fielder, Root, who goes back. There's no point fielder there, actually, so 1 ball left in the over. So you think it will be Joe Root then to bowl the next over from the other end? I suppose it has to be.
I can't think of anybody else that bowls spin that was of any note in that England side, really. Sydney bowls a bit of leg spin, but it's probably Phil.
This one is defended by Azhar Ali, and that is the end of the over. So 92 for 2. The camera's focusing on Jimmy Anderson because he would be due to bowl the next over, but it's not Jimmy Anderson. He's asked for his jumper, in fact, and it's going to be, as you said, Joe Root.
Yeah, it's a real shame, isn't it? It was just set up nicely for another 2 or 3 overs of Jimmy Anderson. Can he? And hopefully he gets the 600th wicket. And then in the gloom, which has come around far too much during this series, we're now restricted to watching the spinners bowl. Joe Root's a very good spinner. I think people underestimate how talented he is as an off-break bowler because he's better than those stats suggest, an average of 50 in Test cricket. He sometimes comes on when there's nothing going on and therefore gets knocked around a little bit. But he's a very good spinner. I've seen him take wickets for Yorkshire. He took a 4 I think, at Old Trafford to win the county match, Rosie's match at Old Trafford. And, he's more than capable.
Well, he's got an attacking field here as he prepares to bowl to the new batsman, Babar. He's got a slip, a leg slip, a short leg. Also men in close-in catching positions on the leg side on the drive. He'll be bowling round the wicket as well to the right-handed Babar. In fact, he's just moved his leg slip there, or has he moved he's moved Anderson.
There's just a point on that, Simon. He's got a more attacking field for himself than he has had for Don Bess at any stage today.
Very true. This one is pushed off the back foot into the offside, but there is no run as Sibley, patrolling that area, is on his toes and keeps Babar on strike.
Where's the sense in that, though? Your frontline spinner doesn't get the attacking field that you get when you come on.
Root bowls again. This one is defended, and there is no maybe he'll give a few more attacking catching fielders, close-in catches to Don Bess for his next over. But yes, it does seem a bit unjust. Root comes in, bowls again into the footmarks, flicked out of the off the legs there by Babar out towards Bess at deep square leg. That'll be 1. So he's off the mark now, Babar. Pakistan are 93 for 2. Root round the wicket again. Balls to Azza, who's into line and defending on a line of middle and leg. Back to the bowler. 54 miles an hour, that last delivery from Joe Root. Comes in again to Azza. Balls into the foot marks. This one's just padded up and he flicks it away with the knee, really, there, Azza. And of course, he can do that all day long if Root bowls into those foot marks outside the line of leg stump. Just make sure you don't get bowled through the legs, basically. Or round the legs, but he won't be doing that. I'm sure it'll be a case of going between them. Root bowls. This one is defended with the bat into short leg. Picked up by Bracey. End of the over. 93 for 2. Like I said, they're going to be whipping through these overs now, England, with 16 to go now. And an hour and 5 minutes of play left.
It doesn't feel like there's going to be anything too much happening, does it? These Pakistani batsmen are very good at playing spin. With not a huge amount of spin in the track as well, it's not really threatening them too much unless they make a silly mistake, and they'll be continuing to tell each other not to do that. I think Bess has bowled really nicely today. He's got a nice line and his pace has been good. The umpires are very much, far too much in terms of on the TV at the moment than anybody else, and it seems that it's just a matter of time here before rain starts to fall, or the light gets a little bit too bad for us to continue. But the umpires are allowing things to go on at the moment with the spin twins of Bess and Root bowling in tandem. But you just wonder, Simon, how long this is going to go on for. I think they might even stop this soon.
So here comes Bess then over the wicket, tosses one up to Babar, who just flicks this off the end of his bat out towards point for a single. Sibley goes back from his position and retrieves the ball for Don Bess.
How many short fielders has Don Bess got here? Let's have a look. He's got 2. Got a slip and a short leg. So why has he got fewer than Joe Root?
Next delivery is defended by Babar. By Azza, rather. Well, Bess is going over the wicket, and Root was going round the wicket. Could that be the reason why?
Well, why is Root going round the wicket then? Why isn't he not telling Bess to go round the wicket?
Bess bowls. This one's tossed up and as an inside edge from bat to pad. No fielder in the vicinity to take the catch, and probably even a silly mid-on or silly point wouldn't have been able to get that one. It was only a brief deflection. It bounced up. Butler too slow. Well, Butler unable to get there.
Come close, isn't he, Don Bess, without actually getting the cigar?
Bess bowls again. This one is defended by Azza. Out towards Sibley again in the near vicinity.
In the replay there, he thought he got him. He was going up there, Don Bess, isn't he?
Bess bowls. This one hurries on, and Azza off the back foot cuts very late down towards third man. It might reach the boundary. The outfield is a little bit wetter now, so it does hold up before Archer is on the scene, and they take 2. Let's say 3, in fact. Azza moves to 28.
Azza's played really well, hasn't he, this Test match? He's been the difference between Pakistan losing and them potentially getting out of this with a draw. His runs in the first innings, plus his solidity in this inning.
Bess
made a massive difference.
Moves in again, bowls, and Babar off the back foot plays this one nicely towards deep mid wicket, where I think Chris Wokes is back on the field now, and they take a single. 98 for 2 at the end of the over. So Don Bess getting a bit of excitement from the fielders around the bat there, with that one that turned back into Azza midway through that over, but the inside edge into the pad fell safe for the Pakistan captain.
It's going to have to be Root and Bess, isn't it, from here on? There's no other real spinner in this England side. And to be honest, I mean, Bess has done okay today, but the team is as likely. And it's just kind of like he's captaining with one hand tied behind his back as he bowls, and that's just into the leg side. Hits the field at a short leg, I think, James Bracey, with no run.
Yeah, he's got some pads underneath his white, so hopefully he was able to get those in the way of it as he comes in again here. Root and bowls. This one's just played out towards mid-wicket by Babar Azam. Azza wants some new batting gloves. He's made a signal that would suggest he needs some new batting gloves out to the dressing room. This one's a full toss from Root and it's smashed away, square of the wicket, out towards Bess, who's on that boundary, and they get one more.
I'm not sure I'd want to be James Bracey in there if Derrick's going to throw those down.
Maybe just slipped or something, but Babar was quickly onto it. Root not happy with himself. He comes in again and bowls, and this one is played through towards mid-wicket along the ground, fielded by Crawley. Back to Root it goes. England captain comes in and bowls to Babar Azam. This one is defended pretty stoutly back down the pitch. Picked up by Root in his follow-through. He's only got 28 Test wickets, but he's got some pretty notable scalps, hasn't he, in his time, Joe Root? You mentioned he's can be a bit of a golden arm. He's broken up some good partnerships down the years. The average of 50 doesn't tell a full story about his bowling, and he's probably underused and has been very much underused by himself as a captain, as this one's played into the onside for a single off the last ball of the over, taking Pakistan past 100 for 2 now after 56 overs. 14 overs remain tonight.
With Joe Root's slightly longer hair, when it was fluffing out there as he ran in, he looked a bit like an elongated Sunday Toxvig.
All right. The light meter is now being perched on top of the stumps, and the stumps have been removed. I think they're going off the bad light here, James.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? Obviously, the spinners coming on was the first warning, really, that we were going to get, and he's putting the bails back on. In fact, he just took one of the bails on the ground there. They weren't put back on very carefully, and Joe Root's having a chat with the umpires. The umpires are standing together. They're not walking off very quickly, but I think this is an early curtain call for day 4 of this Test match. I'm not sure if they go off now. We'll see them coming back out again.
Yeah, so well, we're going to take a break now and keep an eye on the situation, but bad light has stopped play. I think if they're not back on in the next half an hour, that will be it, even though there are 14 overs scheduled, 14 you.